what they think about you. Here's what they think about you. Here's what they think about you.
Here's what they think about you. Here's what they think about you. Here's what they think about you. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. If you're new to the channel, you may not remember this series. Here's what they think about you. But I'm back, and I got to talk about this. We're going to have fun with this one. Make sure you like the video. Also subscribe. Thank you for the donations and Patreon. And we're going to talk about it. They just announced Lomachenko's next fight with Marriaga. Made a video about it. That video, I had recorded it earlier, as I told you guys, and in the Terrence Crawford video I told you. And at the time when I recorded it, it wasn't confirmed. It was still in the rumor stage. Some people were like, oh, you're just making stuff up. Now the fight's official. What do you have to say? Right? And the thing is, and I told you guys in January, I predicted this moment. And I prophesized it. I told you, tell the truth. When it comes to Lomachenko, he's a good fighter. HBO has him pound for pound #1. And see, I told you guys, tell the truth. You got to tell the truth, because instead of just letting Lomachenko, this is a verified account, instead of just letting him be a good fighter, you put an immense amount of pressure on him. And look at these comments. Ever since the fight just got announced late yesterday officially, right? Look at these comments. Stop fighting bums. Cherries, cherries. Look, people are tattooing Rigondeaux. Here's what they think about you, right? And I told you guys. See, this is the funny part. I told you go have some fun with this, because I've been doing this for quite some time, and the tide has shifted in boxing. 2017 is great. I'm getting a lot of fights that I've been wanting to see. Kell Brook, Errol Spence, Garcia Thurman. People wanted Garcia to fight a top welterweight. Thurman was that. He beat him. Cool. Klitschko, Joshua, right? Canelo, Triple G. There's a lot of good fights. Ward, Kovalev rematch. Clear that up. Broner, Garcia. And out of all years, this is a dramatic year for a lot of you guys that don't tell the truth. And I told you, tell the truth. Tell the truth. Y'all don't want to listen. Now, this is not an attack. When I do videos, I can't speak for anyone else. When I do videos, I'm not attacking someone's character or going after their family. I'm telling you I don't like a fight, or critiquing their fight game at best. People want to make this, oh, here, I'm going to show you guys a comment, right? And we'll get back to Lomachenko's own page. I got a comment in my Ego Rumor Mill video where I said I believe he's fighting Marriaga, which turned out to be 100% true. You can go to Top Ranked and their Twitter, official Twitter, they're confirming it. And one of the comments I got just after uploading the video, and I went in depth, it says Strontium Dog or whatever. His comment says, Ego the racist at it again, laughing my fucking ass off. Okay, so first of all, you guys have to understand that stuff doesn't faze me. That's a way for if you guys ever shot a gun, that's what a silencer would be. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you're about to go in someone's hotel room, you don't want people to hear gunshots, so you try to suppress it. You put a silencer on the tip, so it'll muffle the sounds that the gun would normally produce, right? I've been doing this way too long, and I would be a sucker if comments that people leave that we all know isn't true were to affect me. I get comments all the time. Some people say, oh, you're great, man, you're my #1 channel, but then it comes with the territory that you're gonna get the opposite. That stuff doesn't bother me, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, what I do in my heart is pure, so I don't have to explain. If that's what you feel, fine. But the thing is, I have over 2,000, 3,000 videos, whatever it is, I don't count. They're all up here. So if you're saying I'm race baiting and I'm racist for saying I don't like Lomachenko's next fight, a guy coming off a loss who's moving up in weight, then what did I say that was racist? Out of 2,000, we'll say 2,500 videos, 2,500 videos, that should be a lot of incriminating evidence right there. So what did I say that was racist? Lomachenko's from the Ukraine. Name one thing that I said against Ukrainian people. And there's other Ukrainian fighters, Viktor Postol, also guys like Klitschko. You know what I mean? So if I'm racist, then I should hate the whole Ukraine or white people or whatever you think I hate, right? Then I should be given the same criticism. But you go back to the Joshua Klitschko. I didn't say anything bad about Klitschko because he's 41 and he was fighting a young, hungry lion, point blank, period. He was showing you at age 41 that I want to be great. He came up short. He gave Joshua a run for his money. That is what it is. So I'm entitled to that. But anyway, bottom line is the burden's on you guys. The ball's in your court. So all this, oh, he's racist and race baiting, clickbait, all that. Fine, cool. Prove it. That's what the game is about now. You got to prove it. They said, don't start a war unless I got my money right. Well, I got my money right. And it's looking bad for y'all because I'm going to put my foot on y'all neck. And I'm talking about the fans, the people who parade and act like they're boxing fans, but they're truly not. They're really racist, or they really only like certain fighters, or they have all these double standards. I'm at your throat. And that's it. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? So, okay, I'm racist. Then you should have plenty of videos. Why is there no compilation videos explaining how racist I am using my own non-doctored up audio, right? So back to reality. Lomachenko, he's fighting a guy coming off a loss. The guy, Miguel Marriaga, I could say he's tough. But this is boxing. And what people get mad at is in a way, it's actually a compliment to Vasyl Lomachenko because he is a talented fighter. That's why I don't want to see him in there with a guy who doesn't have much experience at the weight, lost his biggest fight, and got knocked down in his biggest fights. Against Nicholas Walters, he was knocked down and he lost thoroughly. And against Oscar Valdez, he was knocked down and he lost thoroughly, right? You say he's tough, he's a warrior. I have no problem with that. But warrior doesn't cut it. You know what I mean? Golden Boy, they just had announced a card, Jesus Soto Caras versus Mauricio Herrera. Yeah, that might be a fun little fight based on the styles, but it means nothing. What does that mean? First of all, if you know boxing like I do, cover boxing like I do, you'll know Jesus Soto Caras in his last fight, he was stopped by the guy Cotto's fighting, Kamagai, Yoshihiro Kamagai, right? And he was stopped at a higher weight, 154. I don't even know how Soto Caras, he's pretty big frame. I don't know if he makes 147 comfortably. Maybe he does, maybe he don't. I don't know. I don't know him, right? And I don't remember the last fight he had at 47. What, Berto or somebody? I don't know. I can't tell you. Same thing, Mauricio Herrera. His last fight went way under the radar. So that fight, what does that mean to welterweight? Can they beat Errol Spence, the winner of that fight? Let's say Soto Caras wins. Can he beat Errol Spence? Can he beat Keith Thurman? Can he beat Pacquiao? You know what I'm saying? The fight doesn't mean nothing. And a lot of y'all get mad because you want to be in the right and you don't want to tell the truth. So anyway, back to this whole ego race baiting. Look, this is not, you think I have all these accounts? Look what people, this is what the fans are saying. Here's what they think about you. Cherries, grow some balls and let Rigo knock you out. Chickens. And this is his own page. You know what I'm saying? Cuban flags, you scared of Rigo, punk. So it's deeper than that. I told you guys, a lot of y'all want these cowardly excuses. Oh, you're just racist, ego. It's you. I'm not doing this. Listen, I don't do stuff like that. I don't go to any fighter's page because I might work with some of these guys. You know what I mean? I don't go to their page and put chickens and cherries and all types of stuff. Look, these are different usernames too. So that's what I'm telling you, man. You guys are outnumbered. The boxing fans aren't putting up with this. And this was probably before the fight got announced. Hence why there's no cherries anymore. But you look, all this. They're tattooing his whole page. And they did it with Danny Garcia, right? When he fought Rod Salka. They did it with Canelo when he vacated his belt. And that's the treatment. You know what I'm saying? The social media, some of these look, a different picture. Look. Just cherries. Crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you guys, you're already on the losing side when you don't speak real. You know what I mean? You don't call it like you see it when you try to protect. And here's another issue. You scared, man. I thought you were a fighter. Shame on you, bitch ass team. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm not putting these. This is what the fans are saying. Here's what they think about you, right? But they blame it on me. So all these people are racist. This guy, Michelangelo's, you know what I mean? All these guys, I guess, are racist. He's racist. He's not African American. Doesn't look like it. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what people are. But Fight Rigo, Loma Chicken. I didn't do this. Coward. Here's what they think about you. And that's what I'm saying. Like, people aren't settled. Wow. People aren't settling for it anymore. So all that, Ego's racist and he's race baiting. So what are all these people doing? Go to his page. This is not a Photoshop. That's why I'm showing you the video, right? Cherry. I did this. You know what I mean? So it's at this point, you guys are outnumbered. You know what I mean? You're outnumbered by real boxing fans. Real boxing fans are having a great year, and they're not settling for the okie doke anymore. You know what I mean? And honestly, what Top Rank is doing with Loma right now and Loma's team, this is what they did with Pacquiao. You know what I mean? They fought fights, a lot of them with weight stipulations, either guys coming up, guys coming off of losses, weights coming down like Oscar De La Hoya, weight drain looking dudes like Cotto that really had probably trouble and issues making 144 or whatever it was. And that's what they're doing. And the problem with that is, if you want to do that, you could say, I know all the excuse in the book. People say, oh, but Lomachenko, he only has 10 fights or 9 fights technically. This is his 10th fight or whatever. That's nobody's fault, because this is how the fans want to have their cake and want to eat it too. When it comes to him being ranked pound for pound on HBO's list, they have him number 1. And then you say, how does that doesn't make sense? How is he over Andre Ward, Terrence Crawford, Canelo, guys with more fights, Golovkin, all these guys with more fights and have been doing good in their careers too? Then people bring up his amateur pedigree. He has almost 400 fights with 1 loss that he later avenged twice. I get that. Great amateur, but amateurs doesn't necessarily mean anything in the pros. More often than not, if you had a good amateur career, you'll probably transition well as a pro, but it doesn't always work like that. And even in different sports like football, Tim Tebow was the man in college. That didn't work out for, I think he's playing baseball or something right now. It didn't work in the NFL type stuff. So that doesn't always transition. But if you got a gold medal, you definitely got a greater shot, just because you have a lot of experience and you've seen different styles and seasoning. But it doesn't always work like that. But look, I mean, this is what the fans are saying. You know what I mean? And the thing is, and I told you guys, this is why when ESPN and HBO, they want to make these pound for pound lists, you do this to the fighters. That nobody had an issue with Lomachenko just being like, I gave him mad props. Like, damn, this dude in his second fight, he wants to fight a guy like Salido. Do you know Salido has been in there with Yuri Ortiz Gamboa, Mikey Garcia, Robert the Ghost Guerrero, Juan Manuel Marquez, right? Salido's no joke. And I'm like, damn, this dude out of the Olympics is just going to fight him straight away. Second, he came up short, but he didn't get knocked down and beat down, and Salido did do some things dirty. I gave him props for that. But it's when you got big boxes like HBO and ESPN, they're the ones putting this pressure on him. Now you're talking a whole different conversation, because you don't want to give Andre Ward credit or Floyd Mayweather credit when he's fighting, or whoever, Terrence Crawford. Now you're making the spotlight on him. So people are going to be checking, like, who's his next fight. Even the Crawford situation. Lomachenko, HBO has him ranked number 1 pound for pound. So, okay, I'm going to use their logic. He's pound for pound number 1. He's definitely skilled, but he's pound for pound number 1. And then you look at the contrast of who Terrence Crawford is fighting. He's fighting to become undisputed. And Lomachenko is fighting weeks before Crawford, fighting a guy who is coming off of a loss where he was knocked down. And he got knocked down and another loss to another guy, Nicholas Walters, the Axeman, right? That Lomachenko already beat, who had moved up to 130. And they ain't got a fight in with Jason Sosa, another guy Lomachenko beat, right? So why are we talking about the number 1 pound for pound person fighting a guy off of a loss where he was knocked down? You know what I mean? Can you imagine? I think Andre Ward is pound for pound number 1, right? And I know for a fact that if Andre Ward were to pick Jean Pascal for his next fight, people would, oh, this is a joke. SOG. Like, you know me, are you serious? Son of Gags, that's a joke, man. They would be all in their feelings, in their bag, because Ward, after 2 tough fights with Kovalev, right, decided to take a fight with a name and you know what I mean, go to Canada or bring Jean Pascal to Oakland or something. They'd be mad, like, oh, he just lost to Eliter Alvarez. You guys know it and I know it. That's what would happen. Because, like it or not, Pascal lost his last fight against Eliter Alvarez, right? And I don't even think he got knocked down. I don't remember, but I don't think he got knocked down. And that was on the Adonis Stevenson card. People would bash Andre Ward for that. Because he's a champion. They would say, oh, that's Kovalev's leftovers. And when Lomachenko is fighting Miguel Marriaga, and see, that's not even a great example too, because Pascal actually has more fights at 75 than Ward does. So Ward's a newbie at 175. Lomachenko has more fights at 130 than Miguel Marriaga. Miguel Marriaga doesn't have much experience. He's a featherweight. You know what I'm saying? So that's not even a verbatim example. But you guys know, you would thrash Ward. And then when people are upset with this Miguel Marriaga fight, then it's all kinds of people trying to make excuses and become saying, oh, you're racist. You just hate Lomachenko. You have it out for him. He's still pound for pound. Lomachenko is the king. Rigondeaux outpriced himself. This and that. It's always an excuse with certain fighters. Always. You know what I mean? But like I said, the great thing about this is today I got time, cuz. Like, this ain't going nowhere. So when I make videos and I was documenting this back and forth, I did a live stream. I said, I don't think the fight's going to happen, right? I don't think Lomachenko's going to fight him next because I know the routine. I know Bob Arum already had a cash cow in Nonito Donaire get annihilated by Rigondeaux. So I figured that they wouldn't put him in there. Regardless of if Lomachenko wants it or not, I don't know. I haven't talked to him. And Rigondeaux put this: when the financial requests were met, suddenly there were other issues like a hand problem, which led to a weight problem, which led to Marriaga. Funny how that happens. Top-ranked vice president. So he moved on, trying to secure the best possible opponent at the time, and Miguel Marriaga stepped up to the plate like previous Lomachenko opponents, Jason Sosa and Rocky Martinez. That's crazy. And you look at it, Rocky Martinez and Jason Sosa, they're not, and Miguel Marriaga, they're not in any position to turn down any fight. Not that they're not good fighters, but they, you know what I mean, Rocky Martinez lost to Salido, if we're being real, in the rematch on the Mayweather undercard, but they gave it to him. You know what I mean? Jason Sosa, he had a tough fight with Steven Smith, and he's not a big name, so of course they're going to take whatever you throw at him, most likely. Rigondeaux knows that Andre Ward just put him number 1 pound for pound. He knows his pound for pound status. He knows how good he is. You know what I mean? But like I said, truth always comes out. Rigondeaux's putting cherries. What are you people talking about? These cherries can fight. Rigondeaux's clowning. It's looking bad for you guys, man. I told y'all, tell the truth. And see, this is the thing. The funny thing is, oh, ego, he's biased. I talk about everything. My big mouth. I can't help it. I speak from the heart. I'm real. You know what I mean? There's not anything that I shy away from on purpose. Now, granted, there are some things that come in the news where I make a ton of videos. You guys know the work speaks for itself. So I don't get to make every single topic. Like I probably won't do a Mauricio Herrera, Jesus Soto Caras, because there's other pressing issues. You know what I mean? So I probably won't get a chance to make certain videos. But there's not a topic that I duck, like where I'm like, it's everybody's talking and I'm just terrified to talk about it. And that's the thing. Look at the contrast. The people will say, "Oh, you're racist. You race bait. You're clickbait. You suck. He's not real. This is not speaking the real truth and all that." Okay, then why aren't you even talking about this? Tell us about this Lomachenko Marriaga fight. Tell us why it's good. You know what I mean? Tell us why Rigondeaux is a lesser option than Miguel Marriaga. Right? Both guys are moving up. You know what I mean? Miguel Marriaga has to move up, and so does Rigondeaux. But we all know Rigondeaux is pound for pound skilled, and he's undefeated. Miguel Marriaga is not. He has 2 losses, and in both of those losses, he was knocked down. And then Rigondeaux's comic says, I like cherries. Okay, I do. They taste very yummy. I'm telling y'all, man, like, you put unfair pressure on these fighters. Like I said, I'm going to keep saying this till my face turns blue. Lomachenko is very skilled. I enjoy watching him, and he's a talented fighter. But when you start switching the conversation and say he's number 1 pound for pound, and Loma saying this is how Loma lets his hands do the talking, this is how Rigondeaux lets his hands do the talking, and then look at someone just put, first comment I seen, but you ducked him. Marriaga, you pussy, Lomachenko fight Rigo. And see, that's the other thing. I told y'all in January, tell the truth. It's getting bad, man, because like I'm not responsible for all these comments. These are fans. And people are like, oh, nobody wants to see the Rigondeaux fight. You can't say that. Everything in Lomachenko's comment section, we don't want Miguel Marriaga, we want Rigo. I'm telling you, boxing fans aren't having it no more. And I just feel thankful that I have enough integrity with the brand to just call it how I see. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect. I'm not always right, but I do call it like I see. And I feel like I'm on the winning side. Like, I'm not one of the people who bash a fight happening that I feel would show us something. You know what I mean? Roy Jones, I probably put the clip on this video. He said it to me. I said, what's Lomachenko got to do to beat pound for pound? Number 1. He said he got to beat those caliber guys. He ain't fought those caliber guys. He said if Rigondeaux was at 122, Lomachenko 126, why didn't they fight? Why? That would have told me something. Exactly. I feel you, Roy. You my G. Fight Rigondeaux, man. Stop talking and start doing. You're the new Danny Garcia. Fight Rigondeaux and stop the bullshit. Let's get in the ring. Cherries, chickens, right? So you can the old boxing game like Mayweather, Pacquiao, that time piece and before, where it's just people going at each other, and like people see the truth now. You know what I mean? With social media, it's been done wonders for boxing. Cherry pick, then fight him, pound for pound my ass. You know what I mean? Here's what they think about you. This is not even me. I like I said, I'm only responsible for. I wouldn't go as far as like putting a bunch of million cherries. I got shit to do. That's just me. So I'm not gonna go put chickens and cherries on a man's page. That's just not me. I'm a grown ass man. But this is what the fans look running. Put him on a bike. And it's always an excuse every single time. Oh, I don't blame Lomachenko. He'll fight anyone. It's his team. Key word, his team. That's a representation of you. And people always try to find a back door out. Oh, now it's his team's fault. When Pacquiao doesn't want to fight Terrence Crawford, oh, it's Michael Conks, it's Freddie Roach, it's Arum. But this is who Pacquiao appointed. Lomachenko has his team. He has his promoter. This is it's an extension of his career. You know what I mean? And it's like people don't even, they be spouting out facts they don't know. You don't know. Lomachenko might have been like, nah, give me a soft touch. I don't know. I don't know the details. But it's always diverted from the fighter with certain fighters. But if it's Wilder, when Povetkin fails a drug test, it's his fault. If the Joshua fight doesn't happen, it's his fault. If Parker doesn't happen, it's his fault. If Tyson Fury fight doesn't happen, it's his fault. You know what I mean? Luis Ortiz is his fault. But with Lomachenko, oh, it's his promoter. It's his people. What do you mean? Loma will fight anyone. Well, you got to show it. You got to prove it. You know what I mean? And once again, if what I'm saying is a lie, then how come the people who are saying the opposite and routinely say the opposite of what I say, why have they not made a video about this telling us how good you sell the Vasyl Lomachenko and Miguel Marriaga fight? Watch how many thumb downs you get on that fucking video. I promise you. If you leave the don't disable the likes, make a video talking about this is the best fight for boxing, Lomachenko versus Miguel Marriaga. I guarantee you, the same fans that are doing this, they're gonna come in and find that video, and they on your line. They coming after you because people aren't buying that bullshit no more. This is not the fight we want. Other excuse that I heard is Rigo priced himself out. Salido priced himself out. What a coinky thing. Everybody's just pricing themselves out. Except for Miguel Marriaga. He's the only one that are willing to. And that's because that's his standpoint. Salido has a win over Lomachenko. You know what I mean? So even if he wants, I heard he won over 700,000. Pay the man. Like, if you fight Salido and beat him, then no one can say shit. You know what I'm saying? Give him 950,000 and take some out for Lomachenko because Lomachenko lost to him. You can say he was dirty, you can say that, but he has a loss. If I go to his box rec right now, you'll see a loss. So just clear that up. And if that means like losing a little bit, you'll gain it in the respect department because you fought him and you showed your improvements, you showed your adjustments, and you beat Salido. You know what I mean? So I don't even know. I haven't heard anything from Salido's side to confirm the 750,000 or whatever he didn't want. He wanted more. But if he wants more, just maybe that's sometimes the consolations that you have to make. It's just like, it's no different than a relationship. It's a trade-off. I've had many girlfriends, and if they want to go to a movie and we always pick the movie I want to see, and they normally don't trip, and then for this one time they want to see fucking Mean Girls or whatever, and they're really firm on it, then I might have to accommodate that, because normally I always get my way and we go see what I want to see. But this one time they really want, it's called a compromise. You know what I mean? So again, I can't confirm that Salido, I don't know if that's true. I just heard that Salido rejected just under 800,000 or something like that. But if that's what it takes to get him in there, again, Lomachenko, by beating Salido, instead of letting Gervonta Tank Davis maybe fight him and possibly stop his ass, and that's going to be a whole different can of worms, because that's going to look horrible, because Tank is young. He's younger than Lomachenko. He has more fights than Lomachenko, but he doesn't have as many amateurs. He has a good amount of amateurs, not as many as Lomachenko. So if Tank goes in there on the Mayweather side and fights him on a big card like Mayweather-McGregor and stops him or beats his ass easy, then he just stole your shine. And there's nothing you could do to get that back. Because to this point, Francisco Vargas, Rocky Martinez, the guys that have faced Salido since the Lomachenko fight, none of them have, some of them dropped him and stuff. He got dropped in his last fight in Mexico and stuff. But nobody's like destroyed him or stopped him or anything like that. So if you let Tank do that, he just took your shine, and no one's gonna even care about a Lomachenko or Salido rematch. So it's crazy to me. All the excuses, it's always the other person. Salido's fault, it's Rigondeaux's fault, and this is the decision. Lomachenko's team. This is the team he's appointed. It's just no different than if I send somebody to a fight. Like, I can't be responsible for what they say, but if they start spray painting swastikas on the bathroom stall, you know what I mean? Then I didn't do them. I didn't do that, and I didn't tell them to do that. But it would make my brand look bad, and I would have to fire that person. You know what I mean? Or like cut off ties. I don't want that associated with me. That's not me. You know what I mean? Just like you see Tiger Woods was cheating with 80 bitches or whatever, cheating on his wife or whatever, and then Nike and all of his endorsements bounce because people aren't trying to be there for it. So same thing with these fighters. If you're in fights that you don't want, and this is like, you're like, I want Rigondeaux, and they give you Miguel Marriaga, and people are tagging up your wall, then that's something you got to address with your team. They're the ones that put you in that position. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's crazy, man. Like I said, people are going to try to make the, oh, you hate Loma and all that, but none of that works, because at the end of the day, if you like the fight so much, tell me what you like about it. A guy coming up a weight, a guy with 2 losses against the biggest names he fought, 2 knockdowns in those 2 losses, and Loma's a beast. So, I mean, what do you like about the Miguel Marriaga fight? Especially when Gary Russell said in his last fight, post-fight, he said, I'm gonna try to get a unification with the champion, and if I can't get that at 26, I'm gonna move up and bully these bigger guys. He said, I'll chase, in the previous, after he beat Patrick Hyland, he said, I'll chase Lomachenko as long as it takes, no matter what weight he goes to. So that would have been a great fight. Other common tactic is for people to defer and deflect. Oh, but Tank Davis. This has nothing to do with Tank Davis. Tank Davis is not fighting Miguel Marriaga, right? Mayweather, McGregor. You know what I mean? It's like you guys have Tourette's. When you get cornered, you have Tourette's and just, but Mayweather, but Floyd and Berto. Like, Floyd Berto don't have nothing to do with it. You got to just sit there and take this ass whooping. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? But I told you guys, HBO, ESPN, they put a lot of this pressure on this man. Because when you, like I said, it's a whole different conversation. He's number 1 pound for pound. Ward won the Super 6. He just stopped the guy. Whether you want to say it's controversial or not, he stopped him. That's the end result. That's what I care about. Results. and he was winning the fight. To me, I was there live. I was at both of the fights. He looked way better than the first fight, and he beat Edwin Rodriguez, Chad Dawson, Sullivan Barrera, guys with a big punch who were bigger than him basically, and the totality of his resume. And you're not going to put him number one, but a guy with 9 fights who's now fighting Miguel Marriaga, he's number one. You know what I'm saying? You guys put this pressure on him. Just like Floyd. That's why Floyd has these flawless performances in many of his fights. He knew the shit he talked, the people who wanted to see him lose, he knew how much was riding on it and how many people wanted to see him lose, so he didn't want to give him that satisfaction. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. But you can try your best to come up with all the excuses. I'm waiting for the usual suspects to write articles and make videos to talk about how great of a fight this is. Or they'll just sweep it on the rug and just not address it. But me, I'm a stand-up dude. I address everything. And this just is not simply the fight that the fans wanted, especially when Rigondeaux's at your throat. Here's what they think about you. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.